Yo, what is going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Woo! What an intro. I got the music suggestions from our guest today, and what a way to get hyped up. Woo! My blood's pumping. My hands are sweaty. My knees are weak. My arms are heavy. Yo, what is going on? I hope you guys are having a great Friday. I'm super excited. This is our first Veteran Spotlight of 2022. So I'm excited. This guy, you've seen him around if you've been on the Twitch channel. And if you haven't, go check it out, twitch.tv/VOP Gaming. So self-plug. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. Our next guest, super cool guy. And yo, I don't feel small compared to a lot of guys, but this dude makes me want to go to the gym to better myself. Anyways, all right, so let's go ahead. I've got him over here, so let's go ahead and we're gonna hop into it. Yo, what is going on? Yo, Slaps here, Sergeant SLAPHAPY. Yo, how's it going, dude?
It's going good.
Yo, thank you for the music. Thank you for the suggestion as well. For the music, it's pretty. Woo, get your blood pumping. All right,
Always
awesome.
Gotta get that pump.
Absolutely. So, for those of you who don't know, VOP Gaming, but I'm not just a guy pretending to be a guy playing a guy. My name's Danny. I'm a Marine Corps vet. I've been to Iraq a few times, which you can find out on my story, shameless plug. It's on the YouTube channel, which this one will be up on in a couple weeks. So I'm not just a dude pretending to be a dude playing another dude. I've actually kind of done it once or twice or something, or thrice. So anyways, well, best way to do it, let's just dive right in. So what, take us through your thought process. Like, okay, so what happened? Were you in high school? Were you in college? What made you decide to join the military?
So I was actually, and it's it might sound cliche, but I was actually in 5th grade history class. And I went to a private Catholic school, and they always had this show that came on in the mornings. It was kind of like news for kids. It was called Channel 1.
Yeah.
And they did little stories and all this. And they always had a Marine Corps commercial. Like, dude climbing the mountain by himself. He gets to the top. You see him in his dress
Hell
blue.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And,
Slaying the dragon. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
So I was always a fat, chubby kid, and I was like, I want to do that. Like,
me too.
I want to be better. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, fast forward, 5th grade, I'm in history class, saw the Twin Towers get hit.
Oh boy.
And from there, it was like, okay, like I didn't grasp what was going on, in 5th grade, and but it kept with me and then as it went on, teachers told me like, hey, this is the idea of what actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, now I want to go even more. And it just stuck with me.
Yeah.
So come high school, transferred out, went to a public school.
Yeah.
And got a lot bigger, a lot fatter.
Yeah.
And then I had a buddy who actually was he was a big guy. He wasn't as big as I was, but he was still big, so he had to drop some weight. He's like, dude, like, you got to come talk to my recruiter. Like, I know we talked about, you want to join. I was like, great. So I talked to him, and they looked at me and said, you're too fucking fat. You got to lose the weight. Can't touch you. I was like,
yeah.
All right, well, what do I got to do?
Yeah.
And from that day on, I went to the recruiter's office every Tuesday, every Thursday, and I think it was like every other Saturday.
Yeah.
My senior year. Started in January, and by doing that, and I'm gonna give a shout out to him because it's actually very few far in between, but like I actually loved my recruiter. Like, he was an awesome person. He didn't lie to me whatsoever, and we actually became really close. I still keep in contact with him actually.
Yo, what's up?
Ruckle.
Nice.
I think he became Gunny before he got out.
Yeah.
So Gunny Ruckle, if you ever come across this, big shout out.
Absolutely.
So he worked with me, and in 6 months, I went from a 320-pound, C cup you know, sack of shit to
Yeah.
I dropped all the way down to 200 pounds in 6
Damn.
months.
Yo, that's what's up. Putting that work in.
So yeah, yeah.
What oh man, this is gonna hurt my heart. Especially when you said you were in the 5th grade when the towers fell. What year is this? Your senior year. What year is this?
My senior year was 2009,
Oh boy.
2008 to 2009.
Oh man, I already did 2 tours in Iraq by that point. Oh boy. Oh man. Sorry. Oh, sorry, my back hurts a little
It
bit.
looks black on
Oh.
the camera, but I'm telling you, I pluck the whites out constantly.
Yeah. Damn. Oh boy. Sorry. Excuse me. Old man moment there. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh, geez. Okay, so what an incredible journey you had even before you started. So you dropped all that weight. So you're at 200 pounds now. You're a lean, mean fighting machine. Your senior year in high school. I'm sure since you lost all this weight, all the chicks are wanting to get a piece of that.
That didn't happen until I got back from boot camp, actually.
It's usually how it goes.
'Cause I went from, it was only 10 pounds, but I
Yeah.
went from 200 to 190 out of boot camp.
Yeah.
But the size difference, I was wearing
Yeah.
small shirts, like,
Bro.
and not
Yeah.
like a medium style. It was like small. I leaned out. A lot of
100%.
my family was like, "You look sick."
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great, and from there, I lost the weight, and then went to schooling and all that. But when I came back, my recruiter was still there. Which when I walked in on leave from boot camp, I walked in the recruiter's office with a female that I went that left that
Hey.
left. Yeah, she was in my sister platoon, Paige Rivette.
Hmm.
I walked in and he looked at me. He's like, hey, like how's it going? I'm like, Sergeant, you don't remember me? He goes, no, who the fuck are you? And I was like, it's Suye. I thought he was about to have a heart attack. He goes, no fucking way. He was just
Yeah, that's great.
So after that, did my schooling and everything. Came back
Well,
home.
let's circle back around. Okay, so I know what this means. Your recruiter. You said boot camp. So what branch were you in?
Marine Corps.
Yes. Okay. And then so you said sister platoon. I know what that means. But you went to Paris Island, correct?
Correct.
Yes. So there's 2 places for those you don't know. You go to boot camp 2 places. Either beautiful San Diego or Paris Island.
Please.
Yes. And currently, as far as I know, only male Marines are trained in San Diego, and then every female, they say there's no difference, but every female Marine is at Paris Island with every other male who is west of the Mississippi, I believe. East. Yeah. Sorry, excuse me. East of the Mississippi. You're west of the you're west of the Mississippi. You go to MCRD San Diego.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So let's see now. So since that wasn't that long ago when you went to boot camp, yeah. Okay. So what was going through your mind? Like, okay, let's do this. When you flew out from wherever you went to the airport, what is little nervous recruit Slap Happy doing right now?
So another reason why I liked my recruiter, he told me what to expect. I mean, you can tell somebody, hey, this is what you're gonna go through.
Yeah.
But you don't really fully understand it until you go through it.
Mm-hmm.
I was just nervous because it's like, look, I'm actually doing something no one in my family has done. Now, granted, my great grandparents were, World War I, World War II, but my family is not a military family.
Yeah.
So I'm the first person to actually branch out and do this, much less the only one to do the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. From then and to this day, something personally with me is like I always don't want to fail. I know there's always failure.
Yeah.
You're going to do it. You have to be able to take that and learn from it. But I was like, Okay, so but I think I was more or less kind of numb. I
Mhm.
was both excited and oh shit, he said we were gonna do this. And real quick, it's okay to cuss, right?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Okay, good. I was like, okay, what do I do? All right, so um, Paige, was with me. All of a sudden there was that little connection
Yeah.
on the plane. I was like, okay, great. So finally, whenever it actually clicked, hey, there's a connection. We were getting off the bus at the airport at the stroke of 1 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
and then we went separate ways. We're hurdled here, hurdled there. So it was all just like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
Bus ride there, we're all sleeping, and we get to Paris Island, and then that drill instructor came on that bus,
Oh boy.
and like from that day moving forward, it was like, all right, this is it.
Yo, here we fucking go.
um, and I know, kind of to follow with that, what are you thinking? I know a lot of people, and I've talked to a lot of people. They have that doubt, like, why the hell did I do this in boot camp?
Yeah, 100%.
I only ever had that thought one time. And I remember I was actually standing in the chow hall because all of a sudden, for some reason, like that week, they decided to focus in on me
Mhm.
specifically. And I remember looking at these pictures they had on the walls of, holding shooting, like there were different like photos of Marines doing shooting with, the mock deuce and
Yeah.
everything else, um, the 40 Mike
Mhm.
grenade launcher and everything. And I'm looking around like I'm just like fuck this at this point. I'm like, what did I really do this for?
Yeah.
And I looked and I kept looking, and those pictures didn't bring me anything. But I'm like, no, no, fuck that. I've gotten this far, and this is like 2/3 of the way in. I'm like, fuck that. I've gone this far. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep going. Like, there's no reason
Absolutely.
to stop. So, I only ever had that once.
Yeah, I
That
think
that 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 thought.
yeah, I think everybody kind of has that thing like so when they're doing the initial like when they're sitting there and you haven't slept in like 76 hours or whatever it is, and they're sitting there and they're like, "Yo, have you done any of this or that?" Like at that point in time, like I was like, "Yo, I've smoked weed, I've done this," because I was like, I was sleep deprived. I was like, "Yo, fuck this. I didn't sign up for this shit." Like I didn't sign up. I don't even feel like a human being anymore. I might as well be going to prison. Like that's how they shave my head. They dress me like everybody else. Like, yo, I had a doctor look at my butthole a couple days ago. Like I feel like I feel like we're in prison. And I legit like after doing all those interviews and all that type of stuff, talking to doctors, talking to this, talking to that, and then I met my receiving drill instructor, and he was like, my receiving drill instructor was like, "Look, you're gonna go through a lot of bullshit. They're gonna be doing this, whatever, blah blah blah, but it's worth it." Like, he said two things: it's worth it. It'll change your life. You'll become a better person, and it's too late to get out of here. You're already stuck. So once you get over the fact of you're not going anywhere, and that you made this choice, you're an adult now, and you have to live by your word because that's all you have. You want someone to treat you with respect, you have to honor your word. And that changed my life. Like that's how I live now. Like if I tell you I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it, regardless of what it is. And that's how I try to with my son too. I'm like, yo, like, cause he like currently he's doing orchestra and he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's like, hey buddy, you signed up for this. You said you were gonna do this. You have other people counting on you. You just have to write it out. You gave your word, and I feel like that's one of those things that you learn, in boot camp, in basic, in I don't know what the other branches call them, but whatever. You learn that there, and that kind of sticks with you for the rest of your life, if you let it stick with you.
It does, and I also think too that it also has to do with the person themselves. Like,
100%.
there's a lot of guys that I went through that end up, going through, kind of fast forward. I was a platoon sergeant, and I had guys come in. I'm like, how in the fuck did you manage to survive?
Yeah, who let you who let you in?
They're letting
Yeah.
anybody in at this point.
Yeah.
They were in for the wrong reason. Like I actually had one confide in me, say, "Dude, Sergeant, it was jail," which I was still surprised they even did that,
Yeah.
or go into the Marine Corps. And I was like,
Yeah, it's not
"You made
necessarily
the right
that.
choice."
Yeah, it's more of if you don't do something drastic, you're going to jail.
Yeah,
Like you'll talk with a judge, not speaking by personal experience or anything. But you'll go to court and stuff like that, and they'll give you they won't give you an option because that's illegal. You either join the military or you're going to jail. But they'll tell you if you don't do something like join the military, you're going to jail. Like you're headed to jail because they can't. They have to word it specifically. Not saying that I know from personal experience or anything. I'm just saying that they give you options like that.
yeah.
So yeah. But yeah. Okay, so back to boot camp. You thought about it once when you were in the chow hall, about kind of just saying fuck this, I'm done. And then your basic your kind of character stepped in and said that you're better than this,
Yeah.
and you never looked back after that.
Nope, I didn't. It's partly character, which kind of plays into the whole, backstory of me being big and just why I push myself the way. I was raised by my dad, and his dad. It's your word is your bond. If you start a
Yeah.
fight, you better finish it. If someone starts a fight, you better fucking finish it.
Yeah.
Old school.
Yeah.
Um, and I was raised to hold that to high standard. But as a kid, I was always told I was fat by not really my dad's side, but other sides of my family. And I was worthless and this and that, and it was a bad experience. So I was always the shy, timid kid,
Yeah.
and I knew I could achieve more and better. I just no one would listen.
Hmm.
So I going back to thinking that time, I'm like, no, like I was raised better than this. You
Yeah.
start it, finish it. And then not only that, but like it's also personally for me, I'm like, no, I just spent the last 6 months, grueling 6 months, dropping 100 pounds, you
Yeah.
know, and I've gotten this far. Why quit?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna prove everyone wrong.
Hmm.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a mix of you start it, you finish it, and fuck everybody else. I'm gonna do this. You're
Yeah.
gonna watch me succeed.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Okay, so in boot camp, how was it like? How what are some cool? Do you have any cool stories of during boot camp?
I mean, for those who don't know, it's gonna be it's gonna be funny and different things. But for the ones that have been, it's kind of like okay, I think I've seen a drill instructor do that.
Sure.
Um, so I was the last Quebec company, so I'm able to kind of put that little tab on my belt.
Yeah.
The last Quebec company, and then after that, they disbanded. So I was on the rifle range barracks the entire time,
Hmm.
um, which was horrible. Um, you've had those guys that said, "Oh, I can't do this anymore." Red flashlight, try to run out, jump off third story,
Yeah.
break legs. But I think the funniest one, and just a funny drill instructor story. We had a guy. He kept falling asleep while we're staring at the barrels and doing target practice, ready for the rifle range.
Yeah.
He kept falling asleep, so they're like, "No, fuck that." So they grabbed him. They made him get inside the trash can, flip it upside down,
Yeah.
and then whenever they would scream at him, which there's one drill instructor that sounded like a goat every time he screamed.
Yeah.
He would yell, and then the recruit had to pop out and go, "I'm Oscar the Grouch," brah, 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 and then go back in. Um, but I mean, just the basic stuff. It's the Crucible was pretty hard, but I did have a few guys that I'm still connected with today.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't talk on like a daily basis, kind of like with you and me with Twitch and Discord, but
Yeah.
we came real close. Went through some hard times during boot camp and those things. The bonds. Um, but I actually, the one thing, after the Crucible, which is, for those that don't know, the Crucible is the last event that you do in Marine Corps boot camp. And it's, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's 3 days. It's been a while. It's 3
It's
days
been even longer for me.
of no sleep at
Yeah.
all. You're constantly on the move. You have 3 MREs to survive the 3 days, and it's just go, 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 no sleep, nothing.
Yeah, it's 3 days, roughly 50. I think it's like 52 or 54 miles that you travel, and then you're supposed to get 4 hours of sleep a night because it's legally mandated.
Well,
They
I was
they let
part
you
of it
sleep.
before they became soft.
This was in 2005 when I went to boot camp in 2005. Legally, they're obligated to let you sleep for 4 hours a night. They have to let you go to sleep. That doesn't mean you sleep, but they have to be like, go to bed.
So that's what those breaks were in between. Like, oh, we're waiting for them to go. That's what that was.
Yeah. So that legally they have to, because you're still not a Marine at that point. You're still a recruit. You're not in the Marine Corps yet.
So you can get that far and then fall out and have to repeat. I didn't have to fall out and repeat. So I don't know if you have to go back to one.
It depends. I got a hernia. I got a hernia during the Crucible, and I finished it, and then I went to the hospital and I had hernia surgery, and I ended up spending 6 months in the hospital, and I had to start over boot camp again because I got discharged. But if you get hurt during the Crucible, you have to do the whole Crucible all over again.
Oh man.
Yeah, I did the Crucible twice. It was fun.
Ooh, that's so. But I tell you what, I remember. So aside from the 3 MREs they give you, like before you go and do that 20-mile hike.
Yeah.
First 20-mile hike you've ever experienced before with them.
Yeah.
They give you an apple and an orange.
Oh.
I wasn't really fond of oranges, so I traded somebody who didn't like apples for two, and you can't eat it until they get to a certain point. They're like, all right, everybody pull out the apple or pull out the orange, eat it. I like apples, but I kid you not, and I can vividly remember the taste of that apple. It was the juiciest, sweetest, greatest thing I've ever eaten in my life. Whenever that we were able to eat it.
Yeah, they did the same thing with us, except for they gave us chicken or beef broth, like before we started, and then we stopped halfway, and they gave us, I think we had an apple, and that was what we had. But I was pretty good. I rationed all my MREs. I ate 1 MRE a day, and I rationed everything. So like by the time I was the guide too, so like I didn't sleep that entire time. And by the time we got to the Crucible and we were starting to go up the hills and shit, I was carrying extra gear that people just left out. They were like, give it to the guide. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, don't give it to the guide. What the fuck? No.
Oh yeah. So during that time, me and my buddies actually paired up. We're like, all right, look, you got a really shitty MRE.
Yeah.
You got a really shitty MRE. Let's pull it together. Yeah. And then divide it from there.
Yeah.
We'll all eat at the same time, and so we were able to survive.
Yeah, 100%.
But no, it was fun. I actually still have my Eagle 11 anchor.
Oh, nice. I mine as well.
That I got at boot camp.
I have did they give you the little honor courage commitment card?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, I'm about to blow your mind.
Check this out. Memory box that I got from it.
So when I was in boot camp, my funny little story. My senior drill instructor bought me a present because the first time I went to boot camp, my senior drill instructor was my kill hat. And when I went back to boot camp, he was my senior drill instructor in the same. I ended up going back in the same platoon, same company, everything. But he bought me. Let me make sure to cover my driver's license. You seen these wallets? At boot camp, the Marine Corps. You see it on. Oh, yeah. This is your camera. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
And it's got, you can put your ID in this side. So he bought me one when I was there, and so like I had to specifically order and try to find this wallet because my last one was tore to shit. But they gave us this. This is for those of you who don't know, this is an honor, courage, commitment card that they give you when you go to boot camp, and it has stuff like I'm a Marine and stuff. Here, I'll show you and your camera too. This you guys didn't get these cards?
No, I'd still have mine if I did.
Yeah, I've had this thing since 2005. It's tore to shit and everything. I carry it in my wallet as a corny ass fucking kind of memento. But yeah, they gave us one of these when we first joined boot camp, and you didn't get yours either. Oh, shitty. But yeah, so I like they gave us one of those when we first got there, and then I don't know if they did the same thing for you, but after you finish, what did they do after you finished Crucible?
So you know, we went on Pete Charles parade deck, and they gave you your Eagle Glove and anchor. Not gonna lie, cried like a bitch.
Yeah.
I actually turned to the buddy that was next to me because he had somewhat of the similar thing. You know, he was super big, dropped a lot of weight. And we turned to each other, just did that bro hug, just and
yeah.
For some reason there was a Master Guns there.
Yeah.
And he looked at us, he goes, "Did you just fucking hug?"
Yeah.
And of course I just finished fucking Crucible. I'm tired of shit. I'm scared of shit because I'm like,
you're scared now? Yeah.
Like, no, we didn't.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Carry on."
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like literally, like it wasn't like a "oh hey." No, it was like a fucking like wham kind of hug. Like
you embraced each other. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, "Y'all Nancy's." So after that, we had we went to the chow hall, had the Warriors breakfast, and we ate. And the weirdest part about that part was having my kill hat, which I watched my senior roll out, my drill hat become my kill hat, and then another kill hat come in, which the new kill hat tried to hit on my mom at graduation, which was fucking
yeah, that's fucking funny.
And talking to him normally, they're like, they go to sit down, and of course we all fucking just do this because we're so used to it.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's like, chill the fuck out.
Yeah,
like, chill out. And we're like, he goes, no, stop, like chill. And we're like, okay. So we start talking, and then that's when we found out what their MOSs were, because we always saw their ribbon stack, and of course when you first go in, you're looking at, you see rank, and voice and all that you ignore, but you see rank, you see the ribbon stack, you're like, what did this dude do? What did he go through? Holy shit. What do they all mean? And I remember my kill hat that became my drill hat. He at the time, Staff Sergeant Gregoire. I'll never forget that name. He was Motor T, and I was like, and of course back then I'm thinking, I'm going in I'm going to my schoolhouse next, and I'm going in as a mortarman, an infantry.
Yeah.
And because my recruiter was an 0311 rifleman. Yeah. So I'm like, fucking Motor T. But that kind of comes in the picture later. But I'm like, okay, and I'm and we're talking, and then I remember all of a sudden, after eating fucking MREs, one MRE per day for 3 days, and then an apple, and then for me another apple. All of a sudden, my stomach went. You gotta go. So they're like, hey, bathrooms are that way. So half of the fucking cafeteria gets up and goes to the barracks. And I see these we're using the we're using the restroom, and all of a sudden I see these guys come by, and their camis are not they're not bloused. They're folded. I'm like, wait, they're wearing tennis shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, in the, for those that don't know, Marine Corps boot camp, there is no doors on the stalls.
Yeah.
It's
Shitters are wide open.
or it's 3 of you in one, and there's times where depending on the situation, it's one-on-one. But we see them go by, and they're like, "Yeah, we're so excited. We're cleaning. We're about to meet our drill instructors." Kid you not, like all heard that in unison. We all peeked out of the stall and went, "We gotta go." So, we ended up going back, and then after that, it was, graduation practice and all that, and it was more relaxed, and we are so used to lights out, things like that,
Yeah.
and then somebody started talking, it became this thing. So it started to become, at that point to me, more normal because I felt in boot camp that it was, here's my life, I remember it, but I'm in this different world because it's this different entity that no one in my family's experienced except for me. I'm the first one, and now you're starting to transition back to reality.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm about to go home. So graduate, get my stuff, and I remember getting in the truck with my grandparents and my dad, and we went off base. I had my clothes that I wore there, and I
Yeah.
went into the bathroom. Like, we stopped to get food, like fast food. I went in the bathroom, changed real quick, and I remember calling my dad because I had my cell phone. I literally called him. I was like, I can't come out. Like, my shit don't fit.
Yeah. I had
Because
the
what do you
same
mean
same problem. Yeah.
it's not fit? When I came out of boot camp, I was wearing a size 28. When I went into boot camp, I
Yeah.
was wearing a size 36.
Yeah.
And none of my clothes fit. So they had to go. I had to sit in the McDonald's bathroom. They had to go down to the store, go Walmart, grab some clothes, put them on, and then we drove back. And then my dad actually woke me up because I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Because it was a long drive, I fell asleep. My dad woke me up because at that time my my heart was so conditioned to all the running and the hiking and everything else that it was doing at resting heart rate. I was at 45 beats per minute, and I remember that because the nurses freaked out. So my chest wasn't rising because it was so used to all of everything,
Yeah.
and like freaked out because I fell asleep like this in the car, and I was like, what?" And he goes, "Dude, I thought you were dead. Like, I kid you not, I thought I sent you off, watched you graduate, and you
Yeah.
died right
Yeah.
here." I was like, I was sleeping. I was like, I was tired.
Yeah.
Uh, but coming home, um, to me, like, my dad thought I was lying about a lot of stuff. He was one of those like, "Oh, you need to talk to this lawyer to make sure the contracts and blah 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 blah." I just went through everything.
Yeah.
So once he saw me graduate, it was different. Same thing with my mom, and then um, there was some other people I'm not going to mention in my family, but they were like all against it, against the military, against this, against that. Yo, you'll never do this, you'll never do that. And when I came home and I showed up, it was just, I mean, I kid you not, just jaw dropped to the floor. And this was only boot camp. Like, to you and me, hey, graduating boot camp, yes, it's a feat, but it's not.
Yeah. It's just the first step.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
So
We all
from
did
there,
it.
so at that point, that was a great feat to me. But from there on, I felt like I became a new person, the same person, but not that shy, timid kid anymore.
Yeah.
Not hold back anything. Like, I'm gonna tell you what it is,
100%.
and the sky's the limit for me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I was kind of the same way. I mean, I went through a big change too. Like, I was this little like my freshman year in high school, I was 6 feet tall, you know, and I just like plumped out. And I was very timid, very, uh, I wasn't as like, if something bugged me, unless like it was something major, I just was like, whatever. Like I just put my head down, just did whatever. But I did notice that after I graduated boot camp, like, you know, like here, this is my opinion. I don't care if you like it or not, but you know, this is my opinion. You're gonna hear it. Like, and regardless of how you feel, that's just how it is. Like, you're not a. I'm gonna tell you what I feel because I'm tired of just sitting here and not expressing it. You know.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, right before I went to boot camp, I was working at Raising Cane's. I don't know if y'all have them out there where you are.
I have no idea what
Essentially,
that is.
it's essentially Popeyes, but with just chicken fingers,
Oh, okay.
delicious toast,
Yeah.
uh, awesome sauce.
Like
Um,
churches.
no, like this blows churches out of the water. Popeyes blows churches out of the water.
What? Oh boy. That's a different conversation for a different show.
Yes,
A
it
different
is.
different podcast. Oh boy.
But
Oh boy.
I worked there, and before I worked there in high school, and right before I would left for boot camp, I transferred to a different store because I was supposed to become a manager. I was a trainer. I was training to become a manager.
Yeah.
So I left. I came back, and then I went back to the store. After a little bit, went back to the store, and I remember going, this girl who just got on my nerves. She was just one of those, and anybody can get to attest to it. It's like she's one of those people. Well, I always thought she had something against me, like before the Marine Corps, like like she just had something against me. I got back, and then she went on a ski trip, broke her leg, and so she's like shouting stuff from the back, like "You do this, you do that," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Wait, I'm supposed to be training to become a manager." And I remember I was there, and they had this. They put the sauce. We hand make the sauce, put in this big bucket, and there's this little pump, and you put in these little big cups,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to do it before every shift. And I remember sitting there pumping them and going, I just went through 13 weeks of hell, and I'm gonna let this lady yell from back there. She's not training me
Yeah.
for $8 an hour. Took off my apron. I quit. And I walked out. I'm not doing this. I'm gonna go find a big boy job.
Yeah. Oh, so you were a reservist?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That clarifies a lot because I was like, you just graduated boot camp. Why the fuck do you have a full time job?
Yeah. So to roll back to that, initially when I joined the Marine or when I joined the recruiter's office,
Yeah.
my dad forced college, or he was always go to college, go to college, go to
Yeah.
college, go to
Absolutely.
college. My sister did, and now she's paying for it.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel college was for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't. I had straight A's in high school until my senior year when I just kind of fucked off. But still, I was still eighth in my class. Not bad, but it just didn't feel like it was for me. So I went to the military. But I always thought, I'm like, you know what? I want to become an officer. And so I went reserve to come back because they talked about the college programs, and then being able to offers candidate school. I was like, okay. So I did that because at the same time too, if I wanted to go infantry, which this I know for a fact was a lie, or it might not have been, depends on the recruiter, but I had to go reserve and then go infantry if I wanted to go infantry. If I tried to go active, I was going to get stuck as a different MOS because of the slots they had to fill. I understand that more now, but back then I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, that's fine. Like I plan to go to college. I do want to become an officer. So I did everything, went to MOS school, came back, reserve unit, and then once I was there for a few drills, I was like, there's no fucking way I want to be an officer. Fuck that. I like enlisted.
Yeah.
So, I was at my reserve unit. I was with Weapons Company 323 in Louisiana. It's no longer that. They
Hmm.
Marine Corps downsized and traded over to a truck company,
Okay.
which was what I got out of. Um, but initially went reserves, and then in 2012 we were supposed to deploy to Iraq. Like they're like, we're going, let's do this.
Hmm.
The week before we got out for pre-deployment, we were gonna ship out. They go, and I already quit my job. It's didn't know any better. Quit my job. I'm like, fuck y'all. I'm going to do what I want, what I joined to do.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we're not going anymore. Oh
Yeah.
fuck. So a couple more drills go by, and all of a sudden there's whisper about, like, hey, we're gonna go to Afghanistan. Great, awesome. Never happened.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was let's see, 2012. That was 2013 when they did that. Um, at that point, I actually moved to Florida. Had some internal family issues, and I
Hmm.
said, you know what? I have no kids at the time. I don't have a girlfriend. Like, I'm gonna go move in with my aunt and uncle in Florida. I was doing some work. I was actually a contractor on military bases.
Oh,
So I
nice.
worked for a company that did, construction, like general all around construction,
Yeah.
from roads to painting buildings, on military bases.
It's
And
interesting.
at that point, I was like, okay, I was living there for a while. Came home for Cinco de Mayo, met my ex-wife. Well, at that time, future ex-wife, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
now ex-wife. So I ended up moving back, and I moved back because of her, but also I had also gotten a position, or I was offered a position on the SWAT team for the police department in East Baton Rouge.
Hmm.
So I was like, great, it's a win-win. I get my girl, and I get my job that I want. And so I became a cop. Um, didn't get to go to the road immediately. Like, you didn't get to go to the academy and then go to the road. They said, hey, you get to go work in the prison.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, did that for 2 years. Finally went to the academy, and then during that time they had it was 4 different deployments that, if you were um, an MP, part of any kind of security regiment,
Yeah.
or the other two were if you had, and all 4 of them applied to where if you were a civilian, like in the reserves, if you were a civilian cop, that you could apply for all 4.
Yeah.
Um, 2 of them you had to have your Humvee license in 7 ton, and I did. I had all of those. So like, great, I volunteered for all 4 of those. Nothing, just
Yeah.
went away. So then they had the Black Sea rotation, the Muse.
Hmm.
They had 2 of them back to back, and me and my buddy that I left for boot camp with, went to boot camp with, same MOS, same company, everything. We both volunteered for nothing. And I'm like, this is a little weird. Like, I know the Marine Corps is, technically big, but we're small.
Yeah.
I was like, they wouldn't reach out to reserve units like that if they weren't looking for, qualified. Well, time goes on. I'm loving it. I'm hating it at the same time
Hmm.
because, it's a love hate relationship.
100%.
And yeah, at the time, all of a sudden, I got married. I had my daughter, and they had a Georgia deployment come up. So for those of y'all listening, it's not Georgia in the United States.
Yeah.
It's overseas. It's Turkey.
Yeah.
It was a training deployment. And I was like, look, it's something. I meet the rank. I meet everything else. I want to go. Nothing. I was like, something's going on because I'm seeing a few other guys that actually came from active duty to reserves
Yeah.
go back to deployments. Um, and I know I found out the reason why, but moving forward, Marine Corps came down and said, look, we're disbanding certain companies and we're switching them,
Hmm.
and weapons companies now going to go here, this and that. Y'all are going to become a truck company. So for all of those who are here, that are within certain amount of years or this and that. You have this option, this option, this option. One is to get out early, and they're like, "Hey, like we'll waive it, get out early." The other one is to lat move
Yeah.
to trucks. The other one is to switch and find a different company. Like so now instead of being here, you're gonna go there for drill.
Yeah.
I was like, at the time, I was like, no, screw that. Like I want to do my 20 years. Like I had my mindset on it. I was a sergeant, or excuse me, I was a corporal at the time. Um, and I was like, I've already come this far. Let's do it. So I ended up lat moving over to 03, excuse me, 3531, motor T driver.
Sure.
Yep. Went to the school, which not being a new somebody right out of boot camp and actually having some rank was
Yeah.
so much better. um, Went in with all of my licenses already, except for two. And when I got to the school, they're like, "You don't have their licenses." I was like,
Yeah.
"No, I do. I, I do. I actually still have them."
Yeah.
I was like, "No, I do." And I pulled them out, and they looked at them. They're like, "These aren't like holy shit. They are licenses." I'm telling you, like, how
Yeah.
are you going to transfer this? So the funny thing about the schoolhouse is when you first go in, if you're coming out, if you pick up PFC out of boot camp or you're still a private, you have the option if you graduate top 3 in the class to rank up.
Hmm.
Well, I graduated top of the class, so I screwed everybody else below me,
Yeah.
and I actually have a award for it.
Nice.
Um, so I did that, came back, and then ended up actually becoming platoon sergeant and took over from there.
Sweet.
So it was at that time. This is when all the deployments that I volunteered for, I found out the truth. So we had a staff sergeant that was an admin,
Hmm.
and he was on the I&I staff. He was real shady, always
Yeah.
real shady. Come to find out, all of deployments that were requested to voluntary for or things like that, he would intake the paperwork and then shred them.
Oh, so he didn't have to go?
No, so he didn't have to file the paperwork for us to go. We found out that because they found a bag of shredded documents.
That's
Somebody
illegal.
took the time to put the pieces together.
Yeah, it's ridiculously illegal.
Correct. And we also found out because this dude had a massive ribbon stack. Like, I had a gunny who went through 7 tours.
Oh wow.
Uh Straight infantry, like, he wasn't a ribbon chaser, but he had them
He
ribbons.
collected them.
The staff sergeant that was on I&I and admin had more than he did.
Really?
So it was very curious. Well, what happened is if they had any kind of attachment or something like that, he would volunteer for it, fill out the paperwork, be attached, and I don't know the process, with it, but would somehow be able to detach himself. So he was technically logged in the deployment,
Yeah, but he wasn't. Yeah.
still here,
Yeah.
and he would get all kinds of medals.
What a douchebag. What a blue falcon.
Yes. Well, needless to say, he is in jail for life.
Hey, I
Found
mean,
that out.
that sucks, but karma's a
So
bitch.
it is. It is. Dude was a
100%.
real creeper. I mean, like had the whole glasses, like would stand behind you, breathing on your neck.
Nah.
Like, yeah.
Get these hands, that's what you get. Yeah,
I wish I was as big as I was big now as I was back then.
yeah, yeah.
For
Definitely.
sure. But yeah, it's been a ride. The only reason I got out, I actually served my full 8.
Oh, nice.
Um, I didn't have IRR. Well, excuse me, I think I had like a month or two.
Yeah.
But I got out because of my daughter.
Yeah.
It got to be too much. I knew we weren't deploying anytime soon because we just became a new company, and like my daughter was just born. I said, like, it's time. Like,
Yeah.
I miss it every day. But be doing things like this, and talking to you, talking to Fat Boy, Z Shadow, Doc with MVP, like all you guys, it helps a lot.
Yeah. 100%.
Um, in just giving back,
Yeah.
to the veteran community in any sense, it helps.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel the same way. I got out in November of 2010. I got out, and I miss it every day. Like 2 years ago, I actually considered trying to get back in, trying to go and like do reservist, because where I used to live, there was an Air Force base. So I was going to go Air National Guard, because they weren't taking prior service at the time. But you could go Air National Guard, and then you could go transfer from there. Like after a year and a half, you could transfer from there into the Air Force directly. And yeah, I thought about it all the time. Like I miss it every day. I've been out for fucking 10, 11 years. Every day I'm like, God, like I could be, I could still be in the Marine Corps. I could be almost retired right now.
Yeah.
And I just I get it with you. Where you miss it, you miss the camaraderie. You miss I even miss the bullshit. The like picking up cigarette butts, picking up trash, police calling, brass call, fucking getting
Brass call. They never cut that grass.
Yeah. Getting up at fucking 4:30 in the morning because I didn't live at the barracks, but they were going through and they were doing room inspections for fucking drugs. I'd have to drive to fucking base to get there at fucking 5 a.m. and stand in formation when I didn't live there. I still even miss that bullshit. So I feel you on that one.
I do, and it's to me, and I've tried to pull it in, and there's any veteran listening to it's gonna have their own thing, but to me, it was, even though we knew it fucking sucked, what we're about to do, it was doing it with your buddies,
Yeah,
your brothers, your sisters, and just doing it and bitching about it. So one thing I always tell anybody new that I meet or that I'm introduced to, that we become kind of friendly with, they're like, "Are you okay?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm happy. Like, what's up?" Like, you walk around and you look like about to fucking punch somebody. I'm like, "No, it's my face.
Yeah,
Sorry."
It's my resting kill face. My bad.
Correct. And then, I remember somebody at work, they're like, "Dude, you bitch a lot." I'm like, "But that's the thing with Marines. When we stop bitching, that's when you need to worry."
Yeah. I complain about everything, but I don't mean it as a complaining as like, it's just force a habit. Yeah. So that way it doesn't eat you alive.
Like, God damn it, I don't want to fucking get up right now. Like,
yeah.
I'm still getting up. You're doing it. I'm just
still like, getting up. Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking, express it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like a lot of veterans, I feel like a lot of Marines, period, you have to kind of do that, or you just push it down so much that it starts eating you alive on the inside. So you might as well just say like, "Yo, this fucking sucks. I hate this. I hate fucking doing this. I hate this bullshit. I hate this sucks. That sucks. This sucks." And then it's gone. It's out and it's gone.
Yeah. Get it out, because like you said, you start to compress it, and not just with Marines, in general, the veteran community. It's we suppress and suppress and suppress and suppress, and there's only so much tension before something blows.
Absolutely, 100%.
It can be healthy. You can blow it in a healthy way, like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm just gonna fucking push this new PR, and if I crush my chest, I crush my chest." Hey, you got it, great. Or it could be, hey, you just turned on somebody you didn't need to.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's something that I've worked with over the years. But that's why I like, if I'm bitching, we're good. If I stop bitching and I'm quiet and I'm short response, something's wrong.
Absolutely.
Back away, give me a second.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't understand that about veterans, period, is we have certain, like, we're more dangerous or we're not okay when we're quiet about shit.
Yeah.
If we're loud and everything, we're good to go in one way, shape, or form. But it's when it kind of just stops. That's when it's like, yo, you all right, man? Like, that's when you got to uh that's when you kind of have to go in and just double check on people, you know.
No, absolutely. And that's like personally, that's something that I've had to. My friends and family still don't understand. There are those select few that aren't veterans that have actually gotten it,
Yeah.
but they know if I'm quiet and they're like, "Hey, what's wrong?" Like, nothing. No, like, "Hey, I'm good."
Yeah.
It's how I say that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, something is good or something actually is wrong. When you ask the second time, that same response is going to dictate, hey, give him a second because
Yeah.
I have, I'm a single dad. I've got full custody of my daughter, which think
Yeah.
but doing that from she's 7 now. I've been doing that since she was 2. Going through that, jobs where my last job, I used to do inspect tanks, like the big crude oil tanks and plants.
Yeah.
I inspected those, but it was travel all the time. I was constantly having somebody pick her up or watch her for Monday to Friday,
Yeah.
like overnight. It was good money. I was able to buy a house because of it. Our first home, my first home, me and my daughter's first home.
Yeah.
But it was a lot. So going through all that, like they also didn't understand, like it's not just being being a veteran, but there's things too that I don't, and I know the whole PTSD thing. A lot of people see it as, oh, that's a veteran thing. No, it's not. Not at all. That
Yeah.
is a anybody thing. You got in a wreck as a teenager or as an adult and you just can't shake it. In fact, I'm not naming, I'm not disclosing personal information on this one, but I'm a manager now, a sales manager. One of my reps actually got in a wreck. It wasn't his fault. He was sitting there. All of a sudden, he just got T-boned, spun on the other side of the highway. He actually reached out to me and said, "Look, I know you are open about whether you're pissed off, having a bad day, and this and that, because that's the kind of leader I am. Like, I'm going to let y'all know because I'm not going to hide it. I just want to talk to you real quick about it." And he goes, they diagnosed me with this. He goes, but I don't. I said, no, 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 stop. You, you went through a traumatic experience. Like to you, you PTSD is a post traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
not just veteran related, and
Yeah.
a lot of people don't understand that. I was like, so I went and I talked to him for a few hours about my trigger points
Yeah.
and where I see it and this and that, just to help him out.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that don't understand. It may not be just be PTSD; it's how we think.
Hmm.
My friends like, hey, let's go to the bar. I don't do bars. I used to bounce before I was a cop. I used to be a bouncer in multiple clubs. Yeah, I used to go to bars, but now not because I have a kid or I'm old, but I'm constantly on my swivel. Like it's
Yeah.
something that's ingrained and instilled in us, and I do it without realizing it. Like this is the only chair that besides my truck, that I can actually sit back. I'm normally sitting like this on my couch, watching
Yeah.
TV, relaxing. This is me relaxing.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get it. They're like, "What's going on with you? Like, why are you on edge?" I'm like, I'm not. I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Your back's
100%.
got to hurt. Well, yeah, for different reasons.
Yeah.
But it's being able to identify that, um, and get to know that, or just taking that split second to just try to, instead of listening to respond, listening to understand.
Yeah.
Um,
100%.
that's huge with me, and I piss so many people off with that.
Hmm.
I like, hey, I need you to listen with what I just told you. I need you to listen to understand, not listen to respond.
Yeah.
Well, I am listening. Nope. You just listen to respond.
Yeah. 100%.
Sorry, I get on tangents.
No, no, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's good life advice too in general, you know. It
Yeah,
helps people it kind of expand the way that they look at life, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that at all.
no, absolutely. I mean, that's one thing too. Like, take the veteran aspect of it out. Like, let's just go common denominator in relationships. Like, y'all on a little tuffle, whatever. Listen to each other. Do whatever you need to do to listen to each other. But instead of listening to have a response, like, oh, she said I did this. Oh, I'm gonna say no. It was because listen to understand where she's coming from or he's coming from, and then respond because you've listened to understand
Hmm.
and put yourself in the other person's shoes, and then respond from there.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
also something that's I was taught as a kid, but never fully was I never fully understood it until like after I got out and I was going through episodes because like I'll say it, like my marriage was starting to fall apart at that point.
Yeah.
Um, my fault just as much as hers. In the end, it was her, because cheating and leaving, its arrows go that way. But listening to the other person, I didn't do that then, whereas I could have then at that point. In just any aspect, like listen to understand how the other person is and where they're coming from and what their thought process is, and then respond versus just responding.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because some people, it's a defense mechanism with some people. Like when you initially are talking to somebody and you bring something up that maybe might be startling or might be out of a comfort zone, it's not necessarily a response of it's not a response of intent. It's a response that people have to like that
Emotion.
immediately comes out that is like uh, that they haven't you haven't processed it enough to actually give a legitimate thing. It's like I feel like a lot of people are trained to just answer my question immediately, right now, like right here, right now, instead of like, well, this is how you feel about it. These are feelings, not like instant. Uh, you can't process it instantly like that.
Yeah. No, and you're 100% right. I mean, I've something that like what I just said I live by, but at the same time, there are instances where it's like, okay, you got me fucked up.
Yeah,
But it's being able to, and this isn't something that's just learned. It's you have to be able to actually want to be able to do that. And
yeah,
I'm telling you, life becomes so much easier with it. It's get respond how you are, but then once you catch yourself, then okay, hey, Vop, let's take a step back.
yeah,
Let me see where I'm coming from with this. Is that what you mean? No, oh, it's not. Okay, what? Explain to me. Now, if the other person's unreasonable, that's it's a different situation. But all in all, that's actually helped me to try to describe because I go through phases where I'm happy and I don't have bipolar. I'm not diagnosed with bipolarism or however you want to say it
yeah,
because I've gotten tested because it's worried me before. I'll go through stages where I'm just all of a sudden I'm good and something happens and I don't get angry or mad. I just go numb.
yeah,
I just exist. And then I'll kind of swing myself, not verbally or outward, but just internally, where I'll swing to depression and then happy or calm. You know, it's being able to get that out and talk to somebody to be able to get them to understand and start to realize,
yeah.
not hear you to respond to you, hear you to understand.
Hmm.
And that's honestly probably the hardest thing. I'm still working on it with a lot of people in my life. Like, hey, quit asking me, quit hitting that what's wrong button.
Yeah,
That button is worn the fuck out. Like, quit.
yeah.
It's good.
Nice. So let's see. Just to backtrack a little bit. So you switched to the trucking company, correct? So you, I guess it's a lap move, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Technically, it was considered. Well, it's a lat move. They almost didn't let me because of the time that I had in, and I
Yeah.
was in my rank.
Yeah.
But due to what was going on, they're like, okay, we have to extend your contract out. And I was like,
Yeah.
hey, that's fine. Whatever. I was doing 20.
Yeah.
Um, so I lat moved because I was going for my 20. Um, and then I enjoyed trucks. Like I'd already had the licenses. I was already very familiar with the trucks. And have you ever drifted a Humvee?
I've never drifted a Humvee. I've ghost rided a Humvee, but I've never drifted a Humvee.
So um, kind of fast paced it to it. Switched over. I had a staff sergeant come in to the company. He helped write the manual for
Drifting Humvees?
well, no, for the 3531, like the
Oh.
driving
Oh,
licensing.
okay.
Like he's had his hands in everything. His gunny and car. So gunny and car. If you ever so happen to pop in and listen to this, shout out to you. So I will say at that point in my military career, um, Staff Sergeant Dixon, aka Fat Boy, and Gunny Ankar were the biggest influences of my military career.
Hmm.
Dixon, just because I mean this dude was like if you can spit something at me, or spit something at him, and just 0 second would
Yeah.
come at you with nothing. He'd put you down.
Yeah.
I always admired that because I was always that shy, timid kid. But Gunny Ankar has done so much in his military career
Yeah.
and had so much knowledge and was there for you. Um, kind of like a not a father, but the big brother who was there
Yeah.
for you. So anyway, we fast forward. We do in the reserves we do um AT, so 2 weeks in the summer, and the rest of the company went. I think they went to Fort Polk. Me and a few others in at the time Staff Sergeant Ankar went to um I think Michigan. And no, not Michigan, sorry. Minnesota.
Yeah.
And that was where a battalion was.
Yeah.
So our job, which they forgot us, we weren't on the training schedule. We were just there. We did our own thing. So he's like, "Fuck that." We bought GoPros, strapped into the Humvees, and we just explored.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, who's drifted a Humvee?" Like nobody. He's like, "All right, y'all about to learn." So we would do tax stops by drifting the Humvees.
Hmm.
So I legit was able to drift a Humvee.
Yeah, that's what's up.
It was fun.
Yeah. That's awesome. Little plug. Fatboy's going to be on the spotlight next week. Check it out.
Nice.
Anyways, just to speak because the fact that we're speaking of him,
Yeah.
he's going to be doing a
Absolutely.
veteran spotlight next week, February 4th. So, anyways, drifting Humvees. So you're doing this you said it was in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Now how long were you there in Minnesota for?
Just 2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah. It was during our little AT.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. So you were mainly stationed in Louisiana?
Yes.
Okay. But you did little trips here and there for training?
Yeah. So our normal drills, like our monthly 1 week in a month drills,
Mm-hmm.
we would mainly try to stay inside Louisiana. Every now and then we would go over to Mississippi where they had, National Guard bases.
Yeah.
Depending on what we were doing, we did those mainly when we were still weapons company.
Yeah.
But as truck company, We didn't really go too far, just because we were still fresh. Mainly consists of staying at the base,
Yeah.
doing maintenance and learning this and learning that, and so on and so forth. Um, but I was able to go out and venture out, which was nice. And I actually found out I actually picked up sergeant during that AT,
Mm-hmm.
so that was nice coming home too.
Picked up sergeant while you were drifting Humvees.
Exactly.
You know, that's how you
With
that's how you got pinned on.
no, I got
With the drifting Humvee.
So the pin on, which was hilarious. Normally you have the CO or the
Sure.
XO,
Yeah.
and your personal choice. My XO, which I admire him. I really do. He was a great leader. Um, Captain Swearingen, which I don't think he's captain. I think he's moved up, but I haven't been in touch with him. But at the time, Captain Swearingen, great guy. He asked who I want to pin on, who he wants to put the pins, and I said, Staff Sergeant Dixon and Gunny Ankar. And he looks at me, he goes, "Well, fuck me, right?"
Yeah.
And of course, I go to respond like, "No, sir, like, absolutely not. Like, I admire you, but these." He goes, "I fucking get it. I fucking get it." So they came, they pinned me on, and then after he pulled me aside, he goes, "Dude, I know you. Like, I see it. Like, these
Yeah.
are excellent military leaders."
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the pin on. But yeah, we're out there, we're drifting Humvees, and I mean, we went and just drove around. We found a mount town, so we were learning how to do tack stops there. And okay, what if all of a sudden you find an IED and we got to back up, or we come to a dead end out of nowhere. And
Yeah.
he's like, this is how we come, stop, and back up all together, or we do a fucking 3-point turn simultaneously and keep
Yeah.
going. It was really fucking good. I loved it. And then of course we had battalion go, "Hey, we need all of battalion licensed for Humvees."
Yeah.
So then they look at me and go, "You get to do it." I'm like, "What do I do?" And they're like, "License them." So I was given a manual that I had to read within 6 hours, and then we had our first night drive test.
Yeah.
Luckily, it worked out because we had literally taken a map because we weren't on the training schedule.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know what? Let's go explore this area. And I had little marks like, yep, this little road's closed, this road's closed, this road's closed, or And I literally was the sole provider to give all of battalion their licenses. And when they had the warriors, dinner, they had this big show with everybody. They had, every company threw up somebody who looked like a Spartan
That's funny.
and had
Yeah.
shields and swords because they had the body of a Spartan.
Sure.
They gave recognition to everybody except us. They did not mention us one time.
Oh wow.
Gunny goes, "Get up." He literally looks down. He goes, "Get up. Get the fuck out."
Yeah.
We're like, "Well, there's a lot of high brass here." He goes, "Get the fuck out." So we get up, we start walking out, and we hear, "Where the fuck you going?" He goes, "Don't fucking stop. Get the fuck out of the goddamn door."
Yeah.
He turns around, the doors close, and before the doors fully close, you just hear this massive shouting back and forth.
Yeah.
So we stand outside. All of a sudden, the door just fucking busts open. He comes outside. He goes, "Get the fuck in the tent." We go. He goes, "Fuck these motherfuckers."
Yeah.
We're like, "Gunny, like, you good? Like, you gonna become a private?" He goes, "I don't know. I don't care. They don't want to fucking recognize us after all we fucking did with this out of nowhere. Fuck that."
Yeah.
So mass respect to him.
Yo, that's what's up. Yo, it's those people in those moments that kind of like you learn who is a good who's a good leader and who actually cares like legit cares about his their troops in moments like that, you know. Because I've done when I was in the Marine Corps, I busted my ass every day, and I had tons of staff NCOs who were just like, "Yo, thank you very much. I did a lot of hard work to do this, to put this on, to get this and get that." And it's like, wait, what? I've been out here since fucking 4 a.m. What the fuck do you mean? Like 4 days ago, I've been out here.
Yeah.
What do you mean you? I only saw you to come get coffee and then fucking come at the end of the day. What the fuck do you mean you? So to actually have someone stand up in front of other people and be like, yo, get out of here, and then be like, then rip them a new asshole about fucking not recognizing other people and their hard work, you know, like there's not enough of those type of people in the military, you know.
So that's something, you know, now that I'm in, you know, as a platoon sergeant, you know, because all this happened before I became a platoon sergeant. But even in the civilian world now, I'm the manager over 2 states and 15 different salesmen. So
Yeah.
just any leadership role, that's something I've taken into account. One, what I've been shown from the two people that inspire me the most, but also literally taking those negatives from that. Like, I mean, no offense to any officers that may be watching this, you may not be that person, but the ones that go, yo, you go do this, and then you show up for 5 seconds, leave, and then you get all the recognition.
Yeah.
I've taken all of that and made it my own leadership style.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take the glory. Like, I did wonders with my work. I don't want to dive into that. That's a whole different thing. But
Yeah.
I've taken from what the last manager did, or excuse me, didn't do, and they're trying to close our territory down to, hey, you want this position? Like, sure. Like, you know, what do you see is wrong? This and that. And then a month later, they're like, here you go. Well,
Yeah.
what do I need to do? Like, what, you know, just thrown to the wolves. I'm like, fuck it, improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Absolutely.
And I turned the territory around, and now we're so profitable within not even a year. It hadn't made a year yet.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I feel like if somebody's offended by that statement about, you know, like showing up and any officers, you know, or whoever's watching, officers, enlisted, staff NCO, NCOs, whatever. If you're offended by the fact of someone saying that, you know, these people just show up and get the credit for it, maybe you should really rethink your leadership style. If that offends you and you actually find that somewhat offensive, and maybe you should reflect on it a little bit more, because that happens too frequently in the military, and not enough people are called out on that type of bullshit. Because any junior enlisted to somebody else, so this could be even, you know, like NCO to staff NCO, any junior enlisted to somebody else knows that feeling of, I busted my ass, you're getting credit for it, and you didn't do fuck all for me. So if that offends you, and look right in the camera, if that offends you, change your leadership style. Because if you take offense to it, something wrong with you, not the troops below you. Yeah. If you're offended by it, if you find that offensive and you're like, the audacity, you fuck out of here. I don't care. 100%. Sick and tired of people, and everybody can relate to it. Anybody can relate to the busting your ass and not getting credit for it, no matter what your job is. So fuck you if you find that offensive. I don't care. Anyways, yeah, so well, congratulations on, you know, turning that shit around, you know, of actually going out and making a difference, you know. Good for you, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm happy. I think it's my fresh outlook with everything, and because of the Marine Corps and how I'm able to take chaos and make it controlled chaos.
Yeah.
That, you know, it's helped, but it really is like, I'm the officer and they're the enlisted. If they didn't actually physically do it, we wouldn't see that I made a difference.
Yeah.
But it's them that make the difference.
100%.
But it's also leadership.
Yeah.
Leadership and different outlooks make a whole lot of difference.
Yeah, 100%. Now, so did you finish with truck company? Did you finish with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got out.
When did okay, so is you had your little your incident where you guys did all that, busted your ass, and nobody was that towards the end of your career?
That was my second to last AT. So I got out in 2017. So that was 2015.
Okay.
And in 2016, we actually went to 29 stumps
Oh,
for our
yeah,
last one.
I've been there. It's not
Which,
fun.
by the way, all of battalion went, and all the same people from battalion showed up.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great. I bet that was a very uncomfortable reunion.
It was not fun. Not because it's a long story, but regardless, I had staff NCO above me who were supposed to be doing certain jobs. I ended up doing their jobs and mine. Didn't sleep for a few days.
Yeah.
And one day, the BC of the operation came
Yeah.
in, pitch black dark. I've got a red headlamp looking at the map and looking at like this whiteboard behind me, trying to figure out how I'm gonna fit my guys and all these trucks and all these missions. And he goes, "Why the fuck don't we have this truck?" And I say, "You can go fuck yourself."
Yeah.
I just heard a voice. I didn't know it, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah." And Gunny Ankar, actually, he's on the rack. Half on, half off. He's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" Like he had one boot on, one boot off, and like he heard that commotion, like jumped up, is like, "No, stop, stop, shut up, shut up."
Yeah.
We flipped a couple 7 tons during that period.
Yeah.
But I actually ran into my we're talking about boot camp. He was my drill hat, became my senior towards the end because at the very last phase he transitioned to senior.
Yeah.
I actually ran into him during that operation.
That's funny. Small
and of
world.
course I called him by the wrong rank because I hadn't seen him in years.
Yeah.
And he looks at me. I was like, I saw the rank. I was like, hey, Master Sergeant, I'm sorry.
It's been a while.
I want to get your attention. Please forgive me.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Whoa, I was like, yeah, it was a quick little reunion. And I was like, man, this is great. But
Yeah.
I thought that was my first like butthole pucker, like
Yeah.
wrong rank.
Yeah. I had a similar incident. I was doing security for a comm company. We were doing I can't remember what workup we were doing, but it's when they had somebody try to they drove a car bomb, I think, onto Texas, and it blew up at the gate. They blew it up at the gate, so everything went down to bases went to lockdown. But we were in the field, and we had the unit commander. I was doing security. We had live rounds and everything, and they were like, "Look, if you're not on this list, you don't get in." I said, "Well," and they said, "I don't care who it is." They said, "Obama," because I was in during Obama. He was like, "Obama could be out here. You're not on the list, you don't get in." I'm like, "Oh, good to go, sir." I'm standing there. I got my little list. This dude comes up. His collar's shiny as fuck, and he goes to he was like, "Good." I was a lance corporal at this time. He was like, "Good evening, Lance Corporal," and goes to walk by me, and I'm like, "Excuse me, sir. You need to. Can I see your ID, please?" And he was just like, he looked at me like, the audacity of this motherfucker. And he pulled out. I had my rifle slung, and I just I had my hand on it, and I'm sitting here, and I just like, "Sir, I need to see your ID." And he goes to give me his ID. I look at his ID, and I pull out the clipboard. I said, "Thank you, sir, but you're not on the list." And he was just like, "Who's in charge here?" And I said, "I can get somebody over here, sir, but I cannot allow you into this tent." And I had this moment, like I'm sweating at this point, and I'm
Oh yeah.
like, oh my God, like what the fuck? But I was like, who do I've never seen this guy before. I don't know who he is. These people, I don't really know who they are, but I'm detached to them to do security. So like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I have a job to do. And as soon as like I called on the radio and I was like, like I need someone to come out here. And as soon as they walk out, they were like as soon as they walked out of the tent, they were like, "Oh, good evening, sir." And I was like, "Oh, I'm fucked." Like they automatically recognized him and everything. And there was just they were like, "Oh, come in," and he just kind of like gives me that dirty look as he walks by, and I'm just like I'm just a lance corporal. Like, I don't know. Like, look, they told me to do this. Like, oh, I need a cigarette. I can't smoke right now. Like, I've got a gun. Like, maybe he'll be easy because I have a gun and I have like live ammo, And like, no shit. Like 20 minutes later, this staff sergeant comes out. He's like, pass your weapon off to somebody else. I need you to come in the tent. And I'm like, oh fuck. Like I'm good. I get like 4.8s, 4.9s. Like I'm a good Marine, like I'm meritorious promoted. Like, yeah, what the fuck? I'm a good Marine. And so I pass my weapon off, live ammo. We do the checks and everything. And I walk in there and, I take my cover off and I'm like, kind of like, I'm getting all mopey, like, God, like, what the fuck is this guy going to do to me, And so I walk in and he's sitting at the end of a table and he's like, Lance Corporal, he's like, have a seat. I'm like, oh man. Yeah, yes, sir. And I sit down and he's like, out of my like 15 years here at camp, I was stationed at Camp Pendleton. He was like, out of my 15 years being here, no one has ever told me I can't go anywhere. And I was like, oh God, like my unit, I'm going to get so much shit when I go back to my unit. Like they're going to I'm going to be picking up cigarette butts for fucking the next 6 months. And he was like, I want to congratulate you because you were out there doing your job. They told you not to. My name wasn't on the list, but because we had an attack at another base, we you legit did your job and you didn't let anybody interfere with that regardless of their rank. And I was like, oh yeah, like yeah, I did it, And he was like, I don't give these out often, but here's my coin. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, thank you, sir. And I took the coin and I'm just kind of like, oh, this is cool. And he's like, but you ever try to stop me again, we're gonna have words. And I was like, oh, yes, sir. And he's like, now go away. Yeah, yes, sir. Have a good night, sir. Thank you very much. Should I bow? Like, I don't know what to do. And I just like about faced and walked out. And oh man, I almost shit my pants. And I got a coin out of it, but
Awesome.
fucking super stupid crazy. You never know who you're gonna run into on a base.
Oh yeah.
Or on a field op.
So talking about coins, I had an opportunity to get a coin, and it pissed me off so much. And we were at the rifle range during one of our ATs, and I shot top of the company.
That's what's up.
Also had a staff sergeant shoot top of the company.
Oh, yeah.
Commander shows up out of nowhere. And he's like, "Oh, let's look at these results."
Yeah.
My results were done. They were printed, and then the roster that he got, I was one shy.
Yeah.
From the staff sergeant.
Yeah.
I almost got a BC coin.
Yeah.
Pissed.
I hate it when shit like that happens. So dumb.
What's funny is the staff sergeant lives not very far from me.
Yo, time to get that coin back. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
I was never a ribbon chaser or this and that. I definitely did want to rank up because to me, in the field of, in the infantry field, it's, it is what it is. You're just thrown in there, and
I get it. Yeah.
if you rank up, you're doing something right.
Yeah. 100%.
And that's my mentality. Again, if anybody has any other opinions, like you stated earlier, look, kindly go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But I take that to not only with the military, but personally too. Before the military, I would always strive to be the best, not because I wanted the show, but like, hey, I'm proving myself.
Yeah.
And, I do that here. Um, I still do it, but everybody has faults and not everybody's perfect. And I know it's kind of all subject, but like everybody's got to understand that. Like everybody has different personalities. Some people do like I've got to win. I have to win. And you're a sore loser when you win and when you don't win.
Yeah.
Just go through life. If you don't, then hey, if you can actually chalk it up to shitty leadership or shitty situation, that's fantastic. But if it's a hey, apples to apples and you didn't win, learn from it. What
Hmm.
did that situation or that person do that you didn't, and go from there.
Yeah.
Some people do the whole love language thing. I don't dive into that, but for me, it's words of affirmation. Like
Hmm.
I dated somebody and they were like, "What's your love language?" Like that's the whole thing. I'm like, "Oh, I don't fucking know." Words of affirmation, come to find out, is my thing. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
you just acknowledgement. Like, I don't want like this big star poster and all this stuff. No, just like, hey, I definitely appreciate what you do. Just like honestly with you, I definitely appreciate this. Like this is
Thank you.
I just found out about this. Like you asked me, and I'm like, yeah, like oh, absolutely do it. Don't know what I'm going to say. Don't know what's going to happen, but
Yeah.
just doing it and getting it out there, because you could have 40 different people do this with you, and everyone at some point is going to have the same story, but they're also going to have completely different stories, completely different outlooks.
Yeah.
So being able to take if you don't really know where you fall into, just listen to different people
100%.
and listen to different outlooks and just take it and go, you know what? This and this kind of work with me.
Yeah.
And it may save those people. Like for me, when we talked about my triggers and what I do and how if I'm not okay,
Yeah.
you may not have that. Just listen to different people. You know,
100%.
we are completely different, but at the same time, we all do have a lot of common denominators
Hmm.
when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
not just veterans, any
People in
civilian,
general. Yeah.
everything else, people in general.
Yeah. Yeah. I always feel like everybody. So the way I look at it is, you and I could be in the same situation. Fucking you and I could deploy to Iraq, kicking in doors, doing all that shit. If we sit down and somebody's like, tell me that story of what happened, and they interview you and me separately, you have two different stories. You and I could be 1 and 2 in the door. Your story's gonna be completely different than mine. We did the exact same shit. It's just your point of view and my point of view are completely different because we think differently. We looked at things differently. We were doing different things even though we were doing the same thing. Even it takes into factor of I mean, I don't know how tall are you?
6 foot, 5'11", depending on the doctor.
Yo, you're 6 foot, I'm 6'4". Just from that height, the difference, my point of view is going to be different than your point of view.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, I feel like you could be in the same situation as anybody else, but your point of view is going to be completely different just because of how you were raised and how I was raised.
Yeah.
How you look at life, how I look at life. And just there's so many different things that kind of like compound on top of that make it different, So stories are these are the things that like that are timeless. Just hearing about
Absolutely.
people's stories, and that's
No,
why I super enjoy doing it, because just it's never the same, never the same thing. A similar like same place. I could talk to somebody you went to boot camp with. Your guys' stories would be completely different. You could tell me a story about how you did this, and some guy was like, I was doing the same thing, and this, this point of view,
Yeah.
and that's why I like them, and also going with the talking about like being okay and stuff. Like same thing with that. Everybody's different. Me, if I'm not okay, I'll tell you I'm not okay, and I'll tell you what's wrong too, straight up. Are you okay? No, I'm not okay. This is what's bugging me. And because I like people process shit differently. Me, when I'm fucking not okay, I'll let you know that I'm not okay, and I'll be like, look, I need to go listen to some music. I'm gonna go put some. I listened to this song called Death Machine. I put my headphones on. I turn it up louder than I should probably listen to. I listen to it on repeat for like 10, 15 minutes. I kind of like let it like wash over me, and I'm good to go. And like, cause I try not to let things bother me too much, like on a regular basis, like emotional attachments and stuff like that. Some stuff that bothers me longer than it should. But it's like I spent too much of my life, man up type shit. Marine Corps teaches you that shit all the time. Yo, man up. You're good. The military in general, well, society in general. If you're a man, you keep them emotions to yourself. I've seen a lot of shit like videos and YouTube and TikTok and shit. Like women are like filming their boyfriends. Like, why does my boyfriend sit in the truck for 10 minutes after he gets off work before he comes inside? Because that fool is going through some shit and he's just trying to push that shit down. Like that's exactly what he's trying to do. And I mean, I talked about it in my spotlight, which if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's on the YouTube channel. Self plug. I pushed that shit so far down. I almost killed myself. I sat in my garage and I became an alcoholic, and I was on the verge of blacking out, and I had my pistol sitting there in front of me, and I almost killed myself. I didn't talk about my feelings. I let that shit bottle up. I felt worthless. I pushed that shit down so far down that, like you said, it's going to explode eventually. And that shit almost exploded. And so now, if some shit's bothering me, you're going to fucking, you'll hear it. I'll tell you I'm not okay. I'm not having a good day today. But I'm still here. Like I've streamed on days. My aunt passed away. I streamed that day. I legit got a phone call half an hour before I fucking started streaming. I regret doing some stuff. I got blackout drunk. I should have handled it differently. But like I didn't want to, I wasn't okay, And then same thing, and that was in November. In December, I had a Marine pass away. We went to cook school together. We were stationed together. Somebody I knew and cared about passed away. I got on stream and I wasn't okay. People were like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not okay." And I broke down on stream, just started crying because I wasn't okay. And I feel like there's not enough of that shit around, like, a lot of people in general, especially males, you're having a bad day. You're having a bad whatever. You just kind of like just repress it and push it down so far. That's why I don't want to get too far off topic, but 22 vets a day kill themselves. And men are more prone to suicide than anybody else. And I feel like it's because we repress our feelings too much. When we're not okay, we just say, "I'm good." That's the famous line that,
And that rolls into what I said with, if the person you're talking to listen, and it's not like I'm yelling at you or I'm like, go fuck yourself. It's listen.
Yeah.
Listening doesn't have to do with me talking. Listening, and it sounds weird, but just like, hey, go look for something. Instead of just looking with your hands, look with your eyes too.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
listening also has to do with your eyes.
Yeah.
You're watching to listen. Listen to understand and not listen to respond.
Yeah, 100%.
That guy, like you said, the guy sitting in the truck for 10 minutes after work, like, why does he do this?
The motherfucker is having a rough time.
You've seen it enough that you're making a fucking TikTok on it.
Yeah. Disgusting, by the way. If you do that, fucking shame on you. Put your phone down and go. Just go give him a hug. Tell him you love him. Yeah, tell him he's okay. Tell him he's doing a good job and you appreciate it. Do that shit.
gonna say,
fucking
like,
pick up a camera.
I've watched. I've got the Twitch stream going on over here, and I've seen a few like hey, look, guys, I have body dysmorphia. I really do. Like,
Yeah.
just because of my past, we somewhat talked about it. Thank you for the comments. Like, it really does make me feel
Yeah.
good. But at the same time, um, it's not everybody's going to feel the same way.
100%.
And the way that you approach things is different. I'm a big guy. I'm kid you not. I try to take time whenever there's new ones because don't get me wrong, I've seen rerun and rerun and rerun of so many fucking Disney movies that I
Yeah.
can't stand it. Now, I'll sit there with my daughter and I'll watch a Disney movie or a Pixar movie or whatever. And for kids, it's like, oh, it's this touching moment, or if they even recognize it as that. But when it comes down to a parent realizing or a kid having this realization of the parent, I fucking break down and cry. As y'all stated, not my words, y'all's, a big motherfucker. I fucking bawl my eyes out.
Yeah.
It's like, are you crying? I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, I'm crying. Why?
100%.
Don't worry about it. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Way later, by the way, way later, you'll figure it out. But I have no problem with that. Like, the whole macho men don't cry. No, fuck that. Let
Absolutely.
that shit out.
I
Cry it out. Like, to
absolutely
believe it or
100%.
not, I've what's actually helped me, music does help me. Like, I do lean to music if I'm by myself. I can't do it with my daughter, or certain people around. I have to be by myself, but I latch on to certain songs and music types, and not angry, but I'm not gonna give a shout out to the band or anything, but like certain music I just
Yeah.
get into and I put it on repeat and I just listen and I dive into it
Hmm.
because it's catching me, and I'll just fucking cry.
Yeah. 100%. There,
I don't care.
there's
What
songs you get like that too.
It doesn't matter if the song is literally tells the exact story of what you're going through.
Yeah.
Just fucking cry. Who
Absolutely.
cares? Like,
One of
it doesn't matter.
one of my new obsessions is this song. It's called "I'm Sorry." It's by Joyner Lucas. I don't care. I don't think he's gonna watch it. Whatever. Anyways, it's a song called "I'm Sorry," and it goes through both sides of suicide. The first song is about this guy who kills himself. He's like, "You just don't understand me. I've been depressed since I was 9 years old." And then the other side is his best friend who is like, the first half is a suicide note that this guy wrote. And then the second half is him responding to it. And like, it gets me in the feels, like I've been on both sides of that before. And so it's like I listen to it, and most times it kind of, it just it helps me like deal with both sides of being on, like suicide, and then watching someone, like being the one on the other side of it, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being sad. There's nothing wrong with letting that express and get it off your chest. Especially my son is 12. He'll be 13. My son's gonna be a teenager. Oh my god. Oh boy, when that hits you, oh shit. Anyways, when I played The Last of Us, the first video game, Last of Us, spoilers for a game that came out like fucking 8 years ago or whatever. At the very beginning, when his daughter dies, like my son was like right around the same age. I put myself in his shoes, and I started crying. Like I was playing the game. I'm like fucking 15 minutes in the game, 20 minutes maybe. Same thing with the Telltale Walking Dead, running around. And same thing, spoilers for a game that came out like 8 years ago, 7 years ago. Like the main character, Clementine, like she was like right around the same age as my kid would have been at that time. So like I took that shit serious, like, and when shit happens, like I started crying as I'm playing the game. So it's like, there's nothing wrong with expressing your feelings and stuff like that. 100%.
No, there's not. And like I said, you go into the whole and sorry, I'm kind of watching the chat
Sure.
too. Our battle said, true statement. I seen a video of someone, and it was someone asking men who they go to when they really need some ears. Almost all the responses were no one,
Absolutely.
because we feel like we can't go to anyone except
Hmm.
for veterans feel like they can go to their brothers and sisters, but
Maybe.
mm, it's maybe.
Yeah.
So I know, um, I do videos and I have my thing with meal prepping videos, and I do my thing in the intro and outro. But one thing that we'll say is, I always say, if you don't need to go to somebody, which I've had my moments and I do have to go to somebody, but for the majority of the time, like my anger and struggles and what I'm repressing or going through doesn't really need, like, yeah, like you and me just randomly, like, hey, you got 5 minutes? I just kind of vent.
Yeah.
I don't really need those conversations. If you don't need to be that person, be the person that someone can be, though.
100%. 100%.
And and also, if you're the person that's reaching out, just let it go.
Yeah.
No one's judging you. If they are judging
Absolutely.
you, reach out to somebody else.
Yeah. Go somewhere else. And
And honestly, you can always reach out to me. I
yeah,
know, you'd said, like,
legit.
I'm new in all this. I'm upstarting. I'm trying. I mean, if you like, all I have is my Facebook and my Twitch. It's under construction.
Yeah.
I got all the stuff. I'm trying. Single dad job. I'm trying.
Sure.
But even if it's through that, or my Facebook link that's part of my gym business, reach out to me.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm always somebody that'll listen.
100%. And like, I don't, this isn't bullshit for me. Like, I always say when I say my DMs are always open, like, yeah, it's a sexual kind of thing. It's funny, but like, legit, 100%, my DMs are always open.
Like, after this, like, are they open?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any time of day. I sleep with my phone with the ringer on. I get messages 1, 2, 3. I got a message this morning at 5:30 this morning. Like, somebody just wanted to talk. So my DMs are always open. You know what I mean? Like,
To
like,
piggyback on that real quick, if you call me between when I'm sleeping, give me a minute. But you hear,
yeah, 100%. Like, I'm the same way. Like, if you message me and then I message you back, like, it might not be completely 100% coherent right away, but you'll give me a minute, I'll get there. Because when I talked about it earlier, when I sat there and I heard all the, call me anytime you need me. I got your 6, all that type of shit. Yeah, when I reached out to people, nobody answered their phone. Nobody answered their phone. I made phone calls, text messages, video chat type shit. Nobody was there. Except for one dude, he wasn't even in the military. We weren't even that close at that point. Like, now, I owe him everything. Like, he legit saved my life. Like, 100%. When I did my veteran spotlight, he's not a vet, but he's the one who did the interview for me, because none of this shit would be possible. I wouldn't be alive right now if it wasn't for him. I legit, he was the last person I called, and I feel bad saying that now. I called all my military buddies first, and then I was a bouncer and he was a DJ. That's how we became friends. And he taught me how to DJ, and I DJ'd, and we drank and partied and stuff, but we weren't that close. And legit, he was like the last person on my list, and he was in Australia. He's in Australia. And when I reached out to him and he didn't answer, like, at that was the moment where I was like, I'm alone. All these people who said they'd be there for me, that's bullshit. I'm alone now. And that's when I legit was like, all right, fuck this. I'm out. I'm checking out. I'm punching my ticket. And the motherfucker called me and was like, yo, I was just gonna call, like, I was gonna wait till later, but like, I just felt like something was wrong, and we just talked, and so when I say my DMs are open, I never want anyone to feel alone, regardless, especially if you're depressed. Like, I can relate to a lot of shit, so that's why when I say my DMs are always open, you could message me or call me anytime. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, probably within a few minutes. Regardless of what time it is, I hear my phone go off and I'm like, Oh, you're just something funny? Ha 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 ha. I'm sleeping. Like, you might get that message. If it's not important, you'll probably get that message, or you'll just get a thumbs up, you know? But if it's some shit like, yo, you got a minute to talk? Yeah. Give me a minute. Just give me a second, you know, and I'll sit up and all right. And then I'll start texting you back, you know? So don't ever be afraid. Don't ever be afraid to reach out, especially to me. I give a fuck less. I don't care. I don't care what time it is. And after everything's good, yo, you just buy me a beer later. Well, buy me some whiskey. I don't really drink beer. Buy me some whiskey later to make up for the lack of sleep. That you know, and we'll call it. We're good to go. We'll just call it even at that point. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never hesitate to reach out to anybody if you ever feel alone.
Yeah.
PSA.
And honestly, like I said, you know, Bob, if you don't mind, you know, I don't know how to do it or how you can do it. Put my contact out.
Yeah. Well, when I put this video out on YouTube, it'll have your Twitch, it'll have your YouTube, or whatever else you want to plug. You know, it'll have your gym. It'll have all that information in the links below. Twitch or YouTube, if you're watching this, click on the links below. It'll have all of his shit down there. If you're on Twitch, I don't know what to tell you. He'll be around.
Yeah, tag's been said. Like, we're there. It's, yeah. I don't change it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So absolutely. If there's ever an issue, you know, there shouldn't be.
No, never.
Why is it not popping up?
If there's something on this conversation we've had too that, you know, something I've said that you kind of want to expand on or even talk about to a little bit better, more detail, reach out to me too. You know, Bob, I can't vouch for him, but like, honestly, for me, if I said something that you want to expand on and you've connected with that, like, reach out, like, let's talk, you know, we're okay.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. There's plenty of people around here. Boom. There you go right there. There's his Twitch information right there. If you haven't, the camera's here. If you haven't followed him, go follow him right now. Playing 7 Days to Die. Go check him out. But yeah, absolutely. If you, anything anybody ever, you know, wants to talk about or reach, there's plenty of people around that are willing to listen. I can vouch for some people you can always reach out to. But even on my Discord, if you go on my Discord and you just put in there, like, you just in general chat, if you put like, I need somebody to talk to, I'm sure you'll get 6, 7, 8 people messaging you within minutes. 100%. If I don't reach out to you first.
I try to watch you daily, honestly, because one, I just enjoy it.
Oh, thank you.
I enjoy watching you, but the chat too.
Mm-hmm.
There's always somebody there talking, and you have people that I've seen that are regulars that are constantly in there.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Reach out.
Yeah, definitely. Other people do this better than me, 100%. More views, more followers, more.
No one does it better than you the way that you do you.
Yeah, thank you for the kind words, dude. Thank you very much. But I like to feel like everybody in. I hate the term community because it gets thrown around by bullshit content creators. But I feel like it's more of like a family. Like there's people here who are, like you said, they come here on a daily basis. They come hang out. We know about each other. We know about kids. We know about family, boyfriends, girlfriends, struggles, all that type of shit. Because like I just wanted to create a space for people to be able to be themselves. Veterans, more specifically, because, you know, I'm a vet. But just anybody in general, active duty as well, you know, military, anybody. I just want people to be able to, sorry, it's fucking paranoia. I hear shit in other rooms and, But I just wanted to create a space for other people to be able to hang out and just be themselves, and you don't have to put on a facade, you know? And sometimes we have deep ass conversations. Like I said, you know, like I had a conversation like 2 weeks ago about, you know, like a rough childhood. I grew up in foster care. I grew up in the system. My mother was a drug addict. I didn't have a relationship with my father till I was, you know, like almost 19. We're closer as Marines because he's a Marine than we are as father and son. We have better bond as brothers than we do as father and son. You know, like we have deep conversations like that. Or like last night we talked about UFOs. So it's a wide variety of things, but I want people to be able to come in here and talk about whatever and build a relationship with other people. You know, like I know a lot of people are like, I want to get views. I want to get followers. I want to get partnered. And like, I just want to have I don't like this term either, but a safe space. I want to have a place for people to come in and just, be you. No judgment here. Might judge you if you like your steak well done. That's probably one of the only things I'll judge you on.
You won't have to because they're still chewing.
Oh, that's true. 100%. There's a few things that I'll judge you on. Or if you're a Chiefs fan, I'm sorry. If you're a Chiefs fan or a Broncos fan, I can't get behind it. I'm sorry. I'll judge you. I will judge you on those things. But anything else, like, this is a spot where I want people to just be able to, just be you. You don't have to worry about whatever. Doesn't matter. Whatever you've done, whatever you do outside of, Raider Nation, 100% Raider Nation. I'm from Oakland, so, I'm from the town. It's one of those places where, like, whatever you do, whatever stresses you have going on, out there. I'm pointing to my door because my door's over there. Whatever you have going on out over there, you can leave that shit behind and just hang out and just have a good time. So I really appreciate the kind words, dude. I really do. But yeah, so we're kind of getting to that point where, we're gonna plug whatever you want to plug. Feel free. Take the next, however long.
See, just the only plug I got is, my gym. We do meal prepping, training, corrective exercising, and I only did that specifically because of veterans.
Mm-hmm.
But
what's your gym called?
It's for other ones. So,
your
my
gym
is under Sergeant SLAPHAPY.
Okay, Sergeant SLAPHAPY. I already shouted him out in the chat, so it'll be in the link in the YouTube as well.
Yep. And all I have is Facebook for Vulcan's Forge, which is my company.
Okay.
Which is on Facebook. I don't do Instagram, or Twitter, or anything like that.
Yeah, we'll get you there.
So,
we'll get you there.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we'll get you there. I'll help you out with that.
But other than that, honestly, just follow up. That's about it. Because
if you're watching this, you're already following me, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm in there almost every day. So
yeah, absolutely.
I am trying to branch out, but I'm not trying to become this big singularity. I just want to be one of those people that's intertwined with everybody, and like it's, hey, I got something specific for you.
Yeah,
reach out to me. Kind of thing.
I got something specific for you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Look, the door's locked. Let's go.
Oh, all right. Where's the lotion? Let's get the baby oil. But yeah, absolutely. And it's definitely an important thing. We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. And like the body dysmorphia thing, like I'm on a current like weight loss exercise journey. I was 310 pounds. I'm at like 250-ish, somewhere in there. Like I go to the gym and I wear the running, I wear like the, like I see a lot of grapplers wear them. They're like the, what is it called? The, like Under Armour, like pants and shirts. You know what I'm talking about?
Under Armour is the only company that fits me properly.
Yeah.
So aside from this shirt and maybe like two others.
Yeah. If I knew we were gonna,
it's me.
Hold on a second. We're good now. Yeah, I can't do that. Well, that's like 1 million channel points, so you're not getting that from me for free. You got to pay for that in this channel. So, there you go. Compression. Yeah, I wear compression pants and compression shirt. Because I've always been a fat kid my entire life. And it's just a body. I'm not comfortable. Straight up 100%. So I get that. Like if I'm real with myself, I'm in good shape. 100%. I'm in better shape than like 80% of people I know. Probably 80% of people who are on Twitch. Like, honestly, absolutely. But like, it's one of those body dysmorphia things. So being able to reach out to other vets who are in that same type of mentality that are actually doing it for themselves is motivating. Like on my Twitch or my Discord page, I put I have a motivation thing, and I post daily gym stuff. I take a picture every day I'm at the gym, and I post a workout thing. Like I haven't done it in like 2 weeks because I was sick, and there's a lot of older people who are at the gym. So out of safety for them, I decided I would just do stuff at home instead of putting them at potential risk for stuff. And then coming up currently, and I have a feeling we're going to be talking about this more, the community and myself, and I'd sure like to get you into it. I'm doing the Captain America workout. So over the next few months, I'm going to be working out like Captain America to get into Captain America shape. We're going to do some cosplay, and we're going to try to assemble some Avengers that are in the community. So check around for that. You could, absolutely, 100%. I've got in the Discord, so if you're not joining the Discord, shameless plug to myself, join my Discord, and I want to get other people involved and kind of support each other doing this. And we've already got somebody doing Black Widow, and I think we already have somebody doing the Wasp for the Avengers. So if that's something that interests you, join the Discord, claim your Avenger. I don't want to have duplicates. So claim your Avenger, and let's get swole together, and then we'll assemble the Avengers in probably June, and show off cosplays, and we'll show off progress, and we'll just kind of have a good time. Maybe we can schedule something and get some pictures taken, some professional pictures taken. So cool. We've got a Hulk now. That's what's up. We got Black Widow and Hulk. Yeah, yo, ooh. America's ass for sure. Yeah, okay, so we've got Vulcan's Forge. We've got Sergeant SLAPHAPY, which is, I put his link in the Twitch. It'll be, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's right underneath. Click that link to both of those.
Discord, Xbox Live, essentially anything. It's username for everything.
Yeah. And all right, cool. Now, so we've got the plugs out of the way. Now I usually open it up. Chat, I'm very sorry. During these things, I don't really pay attention to chat because it's not about chat. It's about whoever we're interviewing. Excuse me, whoever we're giving a spotlight to. I hate the term interview. Whoever the spotlight is on, it's on the spotlight. But I want to thank everybody for coming out with the comments and everything. But now it's Q&A time. If you have any questions for Slaps here, feel free, put them in the chat that relate to what we've talked about. I know some of you dirty motherfuckers have questions. Yeah. Those questions you can DM to him personally. Just CC me so I could, pictures or didn't happen. So if anybody has any questions about his time as a reservist, MOS stuff, if anybody has any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask them now, or forever hold your peace.
Forever hold my, I've been drinking. So.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, when are we gonna do the duo? We gotta set a time.
Yeah, well, yeah. We talk about that.
Offline.
Yeah, we'll talk about that like when after we finish this. We'll talk for a few minutes, and then we'll get into some community games.
Sounds good.
I know some people are here for some stuff like that. Do you wish you'd join the Navy because it's the best branch? I can answer that, if you don't mind. Absolutely, hell no. There you go. You're welcome.
My answer is no. I've always had my sights set on the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why. It's not because when I was a kid, it was like, oh, this is the best of the best. I never heard any of that. It's just what showed up, and I saw the Dress Blues at the time in that Channel One little
Yeah.
commercial, and
The
I was
dragon.
like,
The dragon got
like,
you.
mine was made. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
100%. Yeah. I knew some shit like that was going to come from Perch. His MOS?
So at first, when I joined, I was an 0341 Mortarman, which actually, no, they're not dildos.
Sure.
Is an 81 millimeter mortar, and here we go. Sorry for the lighting. A lot of old people that come up to me think they're penises, but they're actually mortars.
Yo, you're in the Marine Corps. They could be dicks. 100%.
It is. So I thought about that on like my thigh.
Yeah.
All the way down.
You're at one on my butt cheek, so we're good. You do stuff sometimes when you're drunk that you regret. If you want to see, check out my OnlyFans. Psych. Just kidding.
They make so hard for that.
Yo, people look up all the time. They're always like, yo, I've been looking for your OnlyFans. I'm like, yo, keep looking. Keep looking. Oh, Jesus Christ. Perch wants to know, did your arms fit in the service uniform or did you have to get them tailored? Legitimate question.
So
legitimate.
When I first started, and I, because I honestly, I know this is going to come up at some point. Steroids, no. I'm open about it. I am actually on hormone replacement therapy. It actually is part of my family, found out, which is the whole body sizing thing, body dysmorphia. My dad's whole side, including my sister who's here, is huge.
Yeah.
Not huge, but huge. I actually did something with it. So out of boot camp, no, I was lean, but I've been working out for 15 years. The 15 years started with that weight loss journey.
Yeah.
To join, and then I'm still doing it every day. But towards the end of the Marine Corps, yes, when we rolled, I actually had my sleeves cut off here, and I'd rolled them, and then sewed
yeah,
to where they fit.
Yeah.
So I had two sets of camis, one that I could take with me that were already pre-rolled that fit, the other ones that were long if we were in the field.
Yeah.
The Marine Corps weight standards, fuck the Marine Corps weight standards as far 100%. As how they take, because technically if I go to the doctor right now at 245 pounds at 6 foot, the way I am morbidly obese.
Yeah, I was
the way the Marine Corps weighs.
Yeah.
I had a DEXA scan done, and I'm actually very mad at myself, but I'm at 22% body fat for the DEXA scan.
Yeah.
Most people would go, that's fucking awesome. No, I want to be at 15 or below.
Yeah. I was so it's 6'4", your max weight's 225. I was like 230 and I had to get taped, and I have a skinny neck. So they were like, you don't even make tape. And I'm like, yo, well, what the fuck? Like I can put my fingers in my ribs. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm like fat body. Like, excuse me for being a few pounds overweight. Like, it's fucking hard to do, especially when you get bigger like that. Let's see. Okay, so after your Mortarman, you ended up doing truck. What was that MOS?
So that was 3531 truck driver.
Truck driver.
I drove trucks. So I wasn't a mechanic. I just got the licenses to be able to drive the different vehicles. Humvee, 7-ton, MRAP, MATV, Minesweeper, LVSR, and then that was the extent of it. Yeah, motor took.
Sorry, excuse me. I'm getting over, because of Iraq, I cough up a lot of mucus. My lungs don't work very well. They only work at 70%, so when I get sick, it's rough. So excuse me. Just coughing up some shit over here. Burn pits, 100% burn pits. Thank you, Uncle Sam, for just burning everything. I appreciate you. So excuse me, pardon me. Like a lot of people hear me cough a lot on stream every day. I can't. There's nothing I can do about it. All right. Does anybody any other questions, comments, concerns? Anybody? Well, you keep your concerns to yourself. I don't really care. It's not my problem. If it's that big of a concern, you should go see a doctor. I have seen a doctor too, by the way, if that's what you're concerned about. Yeah, you had to light that shit on fire? Yo, I was a cook, so we had to, I mean, we were right there. I was right there with you. All right. Well, I think I think we're getting close to the end. I'm not seeing.
So I hate to cut it short, but I really gotta pee.
Yeah, absolutely. One more question.
Yep.
What moment do you look back on in your career where you're like, this puts a smile on my face every single time I think about it?
Moment that put a smile on my face every single time.
Every single time you think about it.
Honestly, that would have to be right. But I mean, I was like, look, I'm getting out, and we had platoon sergeant time, and I had 72 Marines underneath me. Pulled them all in my office. We're all sitting down. They're all sitting down. And I was working on something, and I had my squad leaders, and I was like, hey, y'all start y'all's little questions or whatever, and they went through, and then they looked at me. I was like, oh shit, sorry. I was like, all right, let's all right. So, a lot of people, and I heard, is he really getting out and things like that. And I asked, I was like, all right, raise of hands, like, who really wants me to get out? And the whole fucking room, or who doesn't want me to get out? Sorry, and the whole fucking room shut up.
Yeah.
And I was like, what I was doing, I literally had to like stop and go, whoa. And I was like, okay, like, you, why? And they're like, and they said why they didn't want me to get out.
Mm-hmm.
You, why? You, why? You, why? And all of it was like, and these are people. There, a few of these people were people who were in before me, who I had surpassed, and some people who were new, or some people who had probably shouldn't have been there, but they were troublesome. But then I got was in talking to them, and my personal vision able to help them get to where they need to.
Yeah.
And it really hit me, and that's where me not being able to actually deploy, even though I've tried so hard, I beat myself up over that. And again, shout out to Fat Boy and Gunny Ankar. Met him a few Marine Corps balls later. I'm a civilian. I'm out. And they're like, dude, you got to stop. Like, you don't understand. Because there's people that I met at the ball who I'm like, who are you? They're like, it's me. Like, I got in. Like, they were literally joining my platoon as I was getting out, like
Mm-hmm.
same month kind of thing. But I left such an impact on them in the
Yeah.
way that I trained, the way that I led, the knowledge I gave them, the personal time, that it made such an impact to them that I now see them on Facebook. They're making sergeant or staff sergeant. And when they first joined, I was like, they shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Now, I cannot, attest to that. That's all me. There's no way. But the fact that they stuck with it,
Mm-hmm.
and I still have people that I run into constantly on a daily, and that live here. They're like, Sergeant Suye, and I was like, who the hey? But leaving that impression versus, oh, that motherfucker,
Yeah.
like avoiding me. They
Yeah.
come out of their way to, if they see me, to talk to me. That really made me feel good. It means it to me. It's I left an impression, and instead of them going do the minimum and get the fuck out, they went and excelled in it.
Yeah.
So
That's what's up.
every time.
Yeah, that's great. Yo, absolutely. You never know who you leave an impact with. I have people who do both things, and they're both rightly deserved. I have people who avoid me, but I have people who go out of their way to tell me how much of an impact I had, and they're both right, 100%. If you go out of your way to avoid me, it's because you earned everything you got, 100%. But yeah, I super appreciate you coming in, and I appreciate everybody hanging out. And yeah, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. So I want to thank Slaps for coming in here, Sergeant SLAPHAPY, as he's known across the board, which his links will be in the description. But yeah, and like I said, we're coming down with the future with other veterans. So anyways, if you're a veteran or you know a veteran who would like to be on this, feel free to reach out to my Discord or on Twitch or whatever. Send me a DM. But yeah, but until then, thank you very much for all your love and support. Remember who you are, and we'll see you in the next one.